صار بينا الحدود مسير الغايب يعود وتلمس ايده الحيطان مصر قريبة وأوان يدوب جواها الغريب ما بالك وانت القريب أخويا وصاحب
وانت ماشي في مصر شايف ألف ضحكة بتناديك وانت ماشي في مصر عارف إنها فرحانة بيك قولي فين الغربة وانت وسط أهلك مش بعيد ده الفرح لو زار ديارك يلقى جوه ديارنا عيد يلقى سعد الشدائي
سلمى يا سلام نومنا بالسلام سلمى يا سلام نومنا بالسلام
نهار وليل مصر الصحية تبارك فينا النوم تقابل الناس بالمحبة تزيد الشوق يدوم في مصر تقول نتصبح الكل عليك حبيبي يا غالي لسان الناس بالكلام الحلو ينقط سكر.
Welcome back. And now it's time for our press review. We're going to bring you more about our daily newspapers. But first, allow me to welcome my guest for today, Mr. Mustafa Tammam. He's a political analyst. First of all, good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
And definitely talking about King Salman bin Abdulaziz's visit to Egypt that is dominating all of the Egyptian dailies, not only actually the Egyptian dailies, but talking also about the international media. So let me start by taking a look at the banner of Akhbar al-Yawm. Saudi Arabia's King Salman bin Abdulaziz arrived in Egypt Thursday in his first official state visit to Cairo since ascending to the Saudi throne in January 2015. And the trip is expected to last for 5 days. We have more details in the following report.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi received visiting Saudi King Salman ibn Abdulaziz, who arrived in Cairo on Thursday, kicking off his first official visit to Egypt. President al-Sisi and Saudi monarch held summit talks at Al Ittihadiyya Palace, where a state arrival ceremony was held for the Saudi king. During their meeting, the two leaders tackled means of fostering bilateral ties in various domains, in addition to a number of regional and international issues of mutual concern. They exchanged views and coordinated stances on challenging facing the Arab national security and vowed to achieve a joint Arab action to face challenges facing the region. The two leaders were scheduled to hold another sessions of talks on Friday, after which they will hold a joint press conference. They will also witness the signing ceremony for a number of important cooperation agreements between the two nations in various domains. King Salman will hold talks with a number of senior Egyptian officials and key figures, in addition to members of the Egyptian Saudi Council. The visit reflects a continuation of the close ties between the people of the two countries. Minister of International Cooperation Sahar Nasr said that Egyptian-Saudi strategic relations have surpassed the level of political understanding and support to the current phase of enforcing development programs and economic projects beneficial to both sides. According to the minister, the visit of the Saudi king gives a huge push to joint cooperation at all levels.
Welcome back. And just to continue, the Saudi King Salman bin Abdulaziz wrote also on his Twitter account about his love for Egypt in conjunction with her first visit to Cairo since he took the reins of government. Salman said that Egypt has a special place and the kingdom's task is to enhance the strategic relationship with the Arab and Muslim worlds, adding, "God save Egypt and save its people." Meanwhile, the Egyptian presidency described Salman's visit to Cairo as crowning the close brotherly ties between both countries. And from here, sir, talking about just I thought to take it from different aspects, actually, yes. This is something of great importance. First of all, talking about the timing of the visit right now, right? It is a historic visit, talking about how important it is and what message it can deliver to the whole world.
Well, let's take the first part of the question which mentions the importance of the visit. Certainly, as you can see, the Middle East and in specific, the Arab countries here around us are all in turbulence, you see. And there's a lot of chaos and people are dying every day, and no solution is placed for any of these crises, either the Yemen crisis, the Syrian crisis, or the Libyan crisis, you see. So, and this causes severe inequilibrium in the whole world stability. So certainly Saudi Arabia and Egypt are pivotal, are two very important countries, and it's a win-win situation. We cannot say that they're providing us aid and we are both in need. The two parties are in need of each other.
Because these are the two major powers in the region.
Exactly.
Only by this superpower we can solve all what is going on in the region.
The message to the world, the second part of your question, is because there are a lot of rumors, you see, that the relations are not good and there are strains and differences. So this is an answer, the visit itself is an answer to all these rumors and all the people which are trying to put, problems and create problems between these two countries. So it's really very important here to capitalize on the fruits of this visit.
Especially the number of businessmen in the delegation, the
Yes,
Saudi delegation.
exactly.
Here we have another headline from Al-Akhbar Daily. The Saudi businessman Sheikh Saleh Kamel confirmed that the Saudi-Egyptian relations have developed greatly during the reign of King Salman and President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. He said in his remarks to a Saudi news channel that the King Salman's visit to Egypt comes to culminate in the Egyptian-Saudi relations close in every aspect, noting that the bilateral relations are authentic and lasting. He added that he hoped that the visit will achieve success for the benefit of the two peoples. And this again confirms what you have just mentioned.
Exactly, yes.
Moving on to Al-Ahram Online. Saudi Deputy Head of Parliament Sulaiman Wahdan said that Saudi Arabia's King Salman bin Abdulaziz will visit Egypt's parliament on Sunday during his 5-day visit to the country to start on Thursday. Wahdan added that Salman may give a speech during his what he described as historic visit to the parliament. Salman previously visited Egypt's southern Sinai city of Sharm el-Sheikh in March 2015 for the Arab League summit. Visiting the parliament, maybe delivering a speech in the parliament, again, this is something of great importance.
Definitely.
This time we can see the visit is really completely different.
Than the traditional one.
Yes.
Yes.
It has just not only a message to be delivered, but I think that we are going to cultivate a lot.
Exactly.
After this visit.
That's true. Definitely. Certainly, it shows that we are going to, it's not only in economic and political sides, you see, it's in all aspects, you see, businessmen coming here, and on the other side, you see, we have the Minister of International Cooperation, which has been visiting Jeddah several times, you see. So it's a sort of two-way communication which takes place in a dynamic state, not in a static state. We're going to have a visit and then everything goes back to square one, you see.
Yes, and we always talk about this. I think this time
it's a
going to be
continuous
different.
process. Yes, exactly. Yes, that's true.
And talking about the business here taking place in Egypt when it comes to Saudi Arabia, from Daily News Egypt, Saudi Egyptian Business Council Deputy Chairperson Abdullah bin Mahfouz said that the total amount of the Saudi investment in Egypt was recorded at $6.117 billion at the end of February 2016 and came from 3,744 companies. Bin Mahfouz said that a large number of Saudi investors have already completed the legal procedures necessary for the registration of new companies at the General Authority for Investment. Egypt will sign 4 funding accords with Saudi Arabia worth roughly $22 billion during the king's official visit. Egypt is expected to finalize 2 framework agreements for soft loans signed in March, with the first worth around $20 billion to finance its 5-year petroleum needs from the oil-rich kingdom. Sir, how do you read this?
Well, the first part is very important. That I don't know if you read the newspapers 2 days before, that there has been a lot of meetings and efforts to solve the problems that Saudi investors are facing here in Egypt. You see, it's not only other investors certainly are facing
the challenges that they were facing
and
yes.
problems, and most of them has been solved. This is very important, you see, because In the past, you see, I've been there and we've been asking to try myself. I used to work as an advisor for the Saudi Chamber of Commerce, and they said we are not able to come here because in an email because we have a lot of problems here which are unresolved and will not be at the time. It's not recommended that. Certainly, this magnitude is going to change now. You see, because the government probably is going to take a positive action. They're not going to be using the classical approaches and maybe things.
I was happy to see this actually on the ground.
Exactly. Yes. So the point is that we saw that there's a change actually in the attitude against foreign investment, and this is a good sign not only for Saudi investors, for other investors, which is going to give us the chance that the country is going to boom again, and we're going to have a lot of investments and business coming into Egypt.
Right. Moving on to another headline from Al-Ahram Online. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi met on Thursday with Speaker of the United States House of Representatives Paul Ryan, heading a delegation from the U.S. Congress. This will mark Ryan's first official visit to Cairo since Ryan assumed office in October 2015. How do you see this meeting, sir?
Certainly, I don't know if you realize that has been the dramatic change in the position of the United States and the Western community since 30th of June, change that revolution which took place, the second revolution. At the beginning, as you remember, they all opposed and they said that this was a coup d'etat. It was not a revolution. Now things have been put into the right shape, you see, and this is due certainly to the efforts of the president, which gave a clear idea to the whole world about what happened and gave evidences that these organizations have been terrorist organizations and they have been not accepted by the people. And it's a people's revolution, it's not a military coup d'etat. And so this is the turnaround that occurred, and it's very good, you see. It's a real change, you see, because they have the evidence, and probably it's due to the efforts of the President and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, actually, which is exerting a lot of efforts in order to give the real picture.
Now the whole world recognized.
Yes.
We're talking about.
Well, the attack. Yes, you see, you have the Brussels and the Paris attacks, which are evidences, and then all these terrorists that are catching in Brussels and in France, you see, that they've been staying there, and probably UK is the next step they should be taking, I think. It's the time for them to start wakening up, you know, because unless they're not going to wake up, it'll be too late and the bombs will start going on to London.
Right. Moving on to Al Jumhuriyah newspaper, the World Bank delegation stressed the continuation work with a key partner, the electricity sector, in the provision of funding a private obstetrics and support the national network, as well as the establishment of high voltage lines and superior plans for its projects. The delegation said that the bank is ready to discuss any demands filed by financing the sector in light of close relations between the two sides and transparency of commitment of Egypt to pay its loan installments without delay. And this came after the Minister of Electricity and Renewable Energy, Dr. Mohammed Shaker, met with the bank delegation in the presence of industry leaders to review the projects under the implementation and discuss the Egyptian requirements during the coming period to determine those projects. Electricity sector actually is one of the
critical sectors.
But again, we have to admit that they achieved great success.
That is true.
They were able to confront many different challenges, and we can feel it actually on the ground. We need to feel it, but we are feeling definitely their efforts. But still, they have more.
Definitely, you see, as you know, we have a very high increase in population, you see, and this means demands of goods and services. One of the important services for the people here in Egypt is the electricity, you see, because you need housing, and since you have a house, you need electricity, power and fuel. So they are probably projecting, they're making a strategic plan in order to meet the demands of the future. It's not only now.
This is the successful part, that they
Exactly.
have two different plans. They are working
short-term and the
short-term
long-term.
and long-term and
Exactly.
moving parallel. And this is,
That's true.
has always been the point that we need to talk
And
about.
also the maintenance of the electrical power stations. You see, they have been neglected.
sustainability of these projects.
They have been neglected. Hopefully, we want to see the same at the transportation sector. You see, because transportation sector is really in chaos. You see, the trains and the metro.
transportation sector, we need to talk about it in another episode.
Yeah, sure.
Let's be optimistic about this. So, at the end, Mr. Mustafa Tammam, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Still, we have more to bring you on our breakfast show. So let's move on to a quick break and we'll be back to resume our breakfast show.